What's the most overrated, healthy habit that people push on everyone but you think is total nonsense and why? Drinking a gallon of water a day, super hyped, not needed for everyone. Detoxes. My aunt has recently gone into what my family suspects is psychosis, and one of her main things right now is that everything is caused by parasites and you need to detox yourself every single day. It depresses me how many health influencers post things in support of her deeply unhealthy habits that just further her descent into unintentional self-harm, along with harming her child and convincing her husband her choices are safe. Meanwhile, her husband was recently bedridden due to a severe gum infection that they all just completely ignored. I detox daily. It's so healthy, and it's even really easy. I use my liver and kidneys, and sweating, and lungs, and pooping, and hydrating. You're detoxing virtually all day long, forcing everyone to be morning people. I am a morning person. I love getting up early and getting a lot done. I do not like non-morning people being forced to be up and doing stuff during that time. It's not fair to them, and it's annoying to me and my fellow morning people. It is absurd to assume people are irresponsible if they aren't up and functional early in the morning. You don't enjoy our daily zombie plague simulation. I was at a presentation on health misinformation by Timothy Caulfield where he said 80% of the health content on TikTok is wrong and a fair chunk actually dangerous to follow, including but not limited to every word out of Gwyneth Paltrow's mouth. Gwyneth Paltrow is a perfect reverse barometer of what not to do. I once had a Reike massage. I didn't know what I had signed up for. I was pregnant and a friend told me it was gentle. The practitioner hovered her hands over my body for 45 minutes, then charged me $100. When I asked about the massage part, she said that it was clear that I didn't want to be touched. Berkeley, I love you, but this was a bridge too far. Well, your friend was technically correct. Something is good for you just because it's all natural or organic. Snake venom and deathcap mushrooms are all natural, but I'm not going to ingest them. And arsenic. Juicing, just eat the fruit and get the fiber. My ex-roommate used to juice all the time, telling me how much healthier it was because it's just vitamins. I'd eat spoonfuls of the juiced pulp in front of him and tell him thanks for taking all that harmful sugar out of my fruit. He didn't think it was funny. The 7-product skincare routines, before red light therapy, needling, gua sha etc. Skin can only absorb so much product, but companies have done such a good job with social media that now 11-year-olds are using retinoids. It's landfill core. I just learned the word landfill core. Thank you. It's crazy that children are using retinoids. If you use them that young and when you don't need them, they have the opposite effect. Eating gluten-free, unless you are gluten-sensitive or intolerant, is no healthier than arbitrarily removing foods from your diet that start with a certain letter. I noticed a bunch of friends and colleagues going gluten-free for diet fad reasons, not an actual intolerance or medical reason, and claiming they felt so much better. Yeah, you started reading food labels, cooking from scratch a lot more, and not drinking as much. Pretty much everyone is going to notice feeling better switching from a steady diet of frozen packaged dinner or fast food and 8 beers, to homemade chili and a cocktail. You stopped eating like shit and now you feel better. No way. The whole 10,000 steps thing, it can discourage people from sticking with their walking goals. Newer research shows that even 7 to 8,000 is enough movement for serious positive health changes, and the benefits of doing 10,000 is not remarkably higher than 8,000. Even doing 5,000 a day can be hugely beneficial to cardio. I think the 10,000s came from the Fitbit marketing. Oh, this is one of my favorite random facts. The 10,000 step number came from a Japanese pedometer that was marketed right before Olympics in Tokyo in the 1960s. The marketing department decided on 10,000 steps because the character for it looks like someone walking. One thing I didn't see on any of the comments: MSG, monosodium glutamate. Everyone says to stay away from MSG, but it's literally found in most of the produce and foods we have. All it is a flavor enhancer. There is a super funny video on MSG where all these people came in for an experiment and they told them to eat the Chinese food lunch as they were monitoring MSG effects on people after a large meal. So many people raising their hands, talking about the MSG side effects, swelling, headache, nausea, etc. Then of course the hosts dropped the bomb that none of this food, in fact, had any MSG at all. And it was all organic foods, fresh prepared. People in the audience got pissed. It was hilarious. Body hacking. I have a colleague that spends an ungodly amount of money annually on quack doctors to help him improve his metabolic age, and he now has a whole cult of other people we work with following the same things. Good lord, it's nonsense. At least he's not that crazy wackadoodle, body hacker, who takes his kid's blood to stay younger. That if you want to do crazy experimental stuff on your body, whatever. But do not involve your damn kids. Apple cider vinegar for every damn thing. It was suggested to me to help control blood sugar. As a desperate newly diagnosed type 2 diabetic, I tried it. It did nothing to my blood sugar levels. Oh my god, I had a truly spectacular level of heartburn. Just purely astounding. If my life had a movie soundtrack, that section would have been a collab between Mozart and Slipknot, and conducted by John Williams having a panic attack. Essential oils. They smell nice and don't give me headaches like artificially scented products. But they are not going to cure any diseases. Peppermint oil can be nice for a headache or sinus pressure, and lavender can be relaxing. Definitely not going to cure my depression or anyone's cancer or anything like that though. It's more of an extreme, but a lot of health bloggers push the idea of, if you can't pronounce it you shouldn't eat it. Obviously aimed at chemicals, but still stupid. Water is a chemical. But as far as the, if you can't pronounce it, nonsense. My wife can't or won't pronounce celery correctly, so she should not eat it. I'm a scientist and can pronounce chemical names. Does that mean I can ingest anything? Eating natural sugars. I see so many recipes on Pinterest that are self-proclaimed as sugar-free and then contain 1/2 cup of maple syrup. I hate that people still try to insist that they feel better or healthier etc. when you tell them that their agave, rice, maple or whatever syrup won't help them with the downsides of sugar. Dates in small doses don't trigger blood sugar spikes though, contain antioxidants, but even here we talk about 3 to 4 daily, not a whole box. Natural sugars have only a very slight decrease in blood sugar spikes compared to refined sugar, but it's not worth mentioning to be honest. Also, I do believe that people who consume natural sugars make more health-conscious choices in their diet in general which makes them feel better, but not the replaced sugar. The phrase, natural sugars, is so funny to me on its own considering sugar is also a plant. Chiropractors. They are not even in my top 10 favorite dinosaurs. Waking up early. It is true that night owls, in general, tend to suffer from health problems, but the cause is not the timing of sleep itself, it's societal expectations. If you go to bed at 2 a.m. but need to start working at 9 a.m., of course that's going to be unhealthy. However, if you have the privilege of not having to wake up at a given time, there is nothing inherently unhealthy about having an evening chronotype. In fact, if you do have an evening chronotype, you will get higher quality sleep by going to bed and waking up late rather than forcing yourself to be a morning person. The problem is that society is heavily biased for morning chronotypes, and night owls are seen as lazy. But having a split of morning or evening people is literally in our genes. Our ancestors needed someone to stay up at night to watch out for predators. Also, a rule of thumb, if you need an alarm to wake up, you are not getting enough sleep. Positive thinking can even beat cancer. Until it can't. But then it's your own fault. You didn't think positive enough. The idea of guilt-free receipts for things. Using Greek yogurt in your tuna salad and then a bell pepper for the bread doesn't magically extend your life by decades. Chill. A regular tuna sandwich is already a healthy choice. Eat the ice cream every once in a while. Don't eat the protein ice cream that tastes like cardboard. Ice cream is a treat. You're allowed to eat things for fun. Sugar is fine. Eat the fruit. Put 1 sugar in your coffee instead of 5 stevias. Food isn't just to keep you alive. It's also something to enjoy. I like to say that joy is a nutrient. A vital one. That every single thing needs to include cottage cheese. There are people who would bathe in this stuff if they could. I'm actually really pissed about this one. I like cottage cheese, and I miss when everyone thought it was gross because it kept the price down. And now there's a shortage and it's out of stock many places. I have eaten it for breakfast for like 10 years and now I usually can't get any. Kale. Yeah, it's fine, but it's not a miracle. Stop pretending. One of my favorite fun facts is that prior to 2013 and the kale health food craze, the largest purchaser of kale was Pizza Hut because they used it to decorate their salad bar to cover the ice between the dishes. Those toxic metal cleanses. So heavy metals are a real thing that can affect you. It happened to my brother. We don't know how he got antimony poisoning, but he did. It affected his memory and cognition. But he had to get chelation therapy to fix it. Nothing you find on TikTok is going to replace real actual medical treatment. Low-fat diets. Fat isn't bad for you. Fat is actually good for you, in the correct quantities, with the correct amount of physical activity. Fat is absolutely necessary for absorption of some nutrients. they're only soluble in fat. Your brain needs it too. Not butter but the fats from nuts, avocado, olive oils, etc. I was having horrible migraines at the age of 12 and they peaked at 22 where I was borderline emergency room visits once a month. Turns out I was starving my brain of fats and it almost disappeared once I added more healthy fats to diet. Alkaline water. I hear you can add lemon to it for a little flavor. Alkaline water works as an extremely gentle antacid by definition and should not be demonized. No, it's not going to cure cancer, but if your tummy is not sitting right due to acidity, a quick way to ease things to a degree is just by drinking alkaline water if you don't necessarily feel like taking a proper antacid. I find it to work significantly faster too, assigning moral worth to literally everything. Oh, I'll be good today and skip dessert. I did a spin class this morning, so I can be bad at dinner tonight. I've been so bad this week, I haven't counted any calories. We are on a floating rock hurling through the vacuum of space at 140 miles per second. Eat what tastes good, move in a way you find enjoyable, and stop pretending that everything is so black and white. The idea people have that hormone-free milk is hormone-free. By its very nature, milk is full of hormones. You don't get milk from any species without hormones. Guess what? The human body does not accept binding in its receptors to react to bovine hormones. But hey, get on your soapbox about wanting animal-derived milk products to be hormone-free. Very restrictive diets don't work in the long run. It's better to just make small changes you can stick with. I'm seeing videos insisting that you cut out all sugar, all carbs, etc. The best is when these fitness gurus finally come out and say they lied. Liver King, for example. Eating organic. At least in the US. It's all a scam based on consumer demand and misinformation to increase profits for commercial farms. They can charge more for the same product with same nutritional value. Organic does not mean safer or healthier, or chemical-free, as many assume. They use pesticides in organic farming as well, just certain approved pesticides. Rather than eating organic as others mention, try to eat local, or what is referred to as farm to table. Focus on directly sourcing your produce locally and seasonally, which will ensure better freshness, taste, less impact on the environment, and a direct relationship with the farmer where you can ask specifically which pesticides were used when the produce was grown or how product was made. This will achieve all the same positive effects you want to achieve by eating organic, but much more exponentially. I have a friend that thinks coconut oil is the cure-all for everything. He's also anti-vax and medicine. Always eating breakfast. Some people feel better and less sluggish if they put off eating till around lunchtime or later. I find it always kickstarts my appetite and makes me eat more than I want to throughout the day. I don't notice a difference in energy when I skip it. I agree about it kickstarting my appetite. When break my fast too early, I feel like I'm starving the rest of the day.